Alright, so basically I took the screws out, and we're going to open these up so you can see the ROMs inside. Now, as you can tell, there's a pretty big difference right away. As you can see, we have all the pins on the bottom here, all of them. But on this one, you only have the few pins. And it turns out, apparently, as you can kind of see on this one, there's a lot of pins there, but they don't lead to nothing. And on the Sega Genesis, apparently they didn't use all their pins. So a lot of the remakes, they only put the pins where they actually use the pins. So it was another way of cutting costs, apparently. So that's another telltale sign that it's a remade. And almost every single one that's been made in Mexico has those pins where they're missing pins. And in fact, let me go through a few of them right now with you. This Animaniacs one, it's also missing a few of its pins. In fact, let me you can see that it's missing those pins there. Again, this is made in or assembled in Mexico, and it's got all the telltale signs. The screws the screws are different. In fact, these are not the same kind of screw bits. These don't have the hole in the center. It's a different kind of security screw itself. So this might be made by a Majesco instead. But you know, we also got the Tiny Toons one that has the same thing, and of course the Pitfall one. This Adventures of Mighty Max. Let me see. See, this one's actually dirty. I haven't cleaned this one, so you can't get the reflection off of it. But again, it's assembled in Mexico. And finally, I want to show this one. This Tiny Toons Tiny Toons Acme All Stars. On the back here, the guy is like, you know, his company that he was trying to sell these online, and it's got the star with the hole in the center of it for the security bit. And I was pulling back the label, and as you can kind of see, it says Konami, and then it says assembled in Mexico. It might be hard for you to see, and this was actually made by Konami, the game was. But as you peel this back, it says Acclaim and assembled in Mexico. So I'm thinking that these companies, basically Majesco and Ballistic, they bought excess carts, the actual the plastic carts themselves, and even though they were made for another company, you know, they weren't Konami. They put a sticker over it, and that's how they got away with that. There was another way to, you know, cheaply make games, was to reuse the old carts that people already manufactured. So that's one of the another telltale signs. That's an easy one to tell you that it's remade. If it's got a sticker, it's a remake. It's plain and simple as that. Now I'm going to talk about a wild card here. Now this Castlevania Bloodlines, it's really faded, you know, horrible quality, not glossy. But you look on the back, and it says Mexico, assembled in Mexico. And it's got the security pins. This one is kind of a star without the hole, though. So, but it's got all the pins. And this is not a remake. This is actually made by Majesco, the same company that does a lot of these remakes. They made this game itself. They published it. So that's why it has all the telltale signs of a remake, is because Majesco actually did make this, but this was not a remake. There's no remakes. Majesco was the only one that actually produced this. So that's like the one oddball in my collection that I know of, and people, that's like one of the few ones that actually Majesco actually made and did not remake, basically. So again, that's all we got. Just to keep an eye out, guys. You know, check out the back, check the security screws, look for the pins. And then look at actually the cover itself. If it's faded, if it looks like it's a cheap, you know, like someone tried to print it out and then, you know, from a home printer and glue it on, basically. Like I said, there's no real differences in the game itself. The ROMs are the same. There's a question whether or not the pins are actually of a different quality. But besides that, everything's pretty much the same. It's just the quality of the game itself. And there's a lot of hardcore collectors out there who do not like the remakes at all. They think they're much inferior. And I mean, honestly, I can see. I mean, this I'd much rather have this one. It looks a much better quality than this one. This looks like someone tried to, like, it took off the cover, it was all ripped up, and they just basically made their own and put it on there. But it's actually a legit game. It's just that it was remade, and they did it for the cheap, so that's why you suffer in the quality of it. So keep that in mind, guys, when you go shopping, when you're doing your thrift retro game hunting. Check out the backs and try to get the good ones if you can, because honestly, it's just a better quality game made, you know, aesthetically. So, but if aesthetics don't matter to you at all, then don't pay too much attention to it. But that's all I got for you guys, and I'll see you next video.